say it's a cash out fight, I look at it as a cash in. It's my cash in fight.
Is there anybody on your
I think he's the best fighter that I fought. I don't think, you know, Johnathon Banks is a different style. You know, it's a different style. He's more laid back. He's a smarter fighter, and he's a counter puncher. But what Chris Arreola has, what we've seen thus far, him, you know, applying a lot of pressure, letting his hands go, has a heavy punch. I think it's safe to say that he's the toughest opponent that I'm facing.
You saw his nose, he busted up in the last fight. You have a good jab. How much are you thinking about putting that jab on his nose and possibly opening it up?
I mean, that was going to be the flip. Whether his nose got busted last fight or 3 fights ago, my plan is to, you know, work behind my jab and, you know, just keep him behind my jab and work behind my jab. So that's going to be key to the fight.
Do you ever listen to any of the critics that say you haven't fought anybody that counted, but after the first Banks fight, when they saw you go down and they said you were pretty much, you wasn't the guy, and then you came back, and even though it wasn't the fight that people wanted to see, you came back to beat Johnathon Banks. Is it something that you think you have to prove to the fans and to the boxing world that you are, or you should be at that level with, you know, to face Klitschko's and those guys?
I mean, I don't necessarily feel like I have to prove to them guys. Like I said, you're never going to please, you know, people in this sport, everybody in this sport. People still saying Floyd handpicks his opponent, Floyd can't do this and Floyd can't do that, and Floyd is the man. You know, he's at the top of his game, so, you know, you're not going to be able to please everybody. The only thing I can do is continue to work hard. You know, when I lost, you know, I didn't cry, I didn't complain, I didn't make excuses. I came back to the gym, I saw what I did wrong, I tried to correct my mistakes and go out there and execute a game plan, and that's just what I did, and that's just what I want to do now, is just continue to get better, go out there. I know I got to win the fight, you know what I mean? That's just my main focus, winning the fight.
And as a professional, you know, being signed with a promotion company, and with that loss, was it ever a doubt or a fear in your mind that you could lose that spot with Golden Boy as far as being one of their fighters if you don't continue to win?
I mean, I understand. One thing about me, people can genuinely like you and genuinely want you to succeed and want you to win. But at the bottom line, this is what? It's a business. You got to put up. And I understand that. You know, it may not be fair, but that's just what it is. You got to entertain, and you got to, no matter what type of person you are, if you're not winning, if you can't keep fighting on these primetime networks, Showtime and HBO and losing, I understand that. So if I didn't get if my next fight was on like you know, untelevised card, you know, I went out there and lost. I put everything on me, you know, my trainer didn't tell me to go out there and lunge and reach and whatever I did wrong. So I understand that it's a business and you gotta put up, or, you know, things like that can happen. It may not be fair, you might feel bad, but at the bottom line, it's a business, I understand that.
I have a different sort of question for you. September 7th, fall, early school season, your kids are going back to school. How hard is it to step back from that role where you're a part of, you know, getting your kids ready for school and your daughter and stuff like that? How hard is that?
It's hard, man. You know, that's my life, man. That's what I enjoy doing. It was funny because my godmother is my wife's mother is down. And she picked the kids up, and usually I'll be at the gym when she come home. But since I had my workout, I was still home. And when I opened up the door, they was like, "Daddy's home, Daddy's home," because they're usually getting ready for bed when I get home. So it feels good, man. That's what it's about, man. It's about my family, it's about my children.
So how much of you is in the gym saying, you know, I'm up in here being denied an opportunity to be with my kids, and Chris Arreola is at fault and he's gonna pay for it?
Hey, man, then you gotta try to find some motivation, and I use my kids as a lot as motivation when I'm out there running, when I don't feel like running. I think, you know, people find certain things to motivate them, and that's one thing that I get really motivated about, not by the trash talking, and not about when I look and I see my kids, and I know why this is a rough sport, it's a rough business, and why I'm, you know, putting my body through this transformation, why I'm taking punches in the face, and who liked getting hit in the face? I don't, you know what I mean? So I use that as motivation. You know, opponents that when the contract is signed, you know you can win the fight.
One question, Seth. Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you prepared to go as a professional fighter now? Your mentality as an athlete, you know how it is to elevate your skills and everything. So are you mentally prepared to go each level harder and harder, and the fights get harder and harder?
You have to be, and I feel I am. I'm a sponge. I'm not, you know, cocky. I don't think I know it all. I just continue to try to learn, try to get better. I know each fight is going to be harder. Each fight is going to be something, you know, new to learn, and I'm willing to do that.
Good stuff. Second consecutive time. This is the second consecutive time somebody from Michigan State on a scholarship is actually fighting Chris. Do you find that ironic?
Oh, you know what?
That?
That is right. That is right. Yeah, and it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm excited about the fight, man. It's a fight that I wanted. It's a fight that I think is gonna raise, you know what I'm saying, my adrenaline, get my adrenaline going. And you know, when you fighting, you know, good people, you tend to step up. You know, and I'm fully confident that I'm gonna do that.
This is a guy you wanted to fight a long time ago. Remember in January 2008, that's when you started your career. Around that same time, he was fighting a common opponent you guys both have in Chaz Witherspoon.
Right.
Do you find, how weird is it, you know, you finding out you're fighting a guy that you kind of watched on the come up? Is that a weird feeling?
It's not a weird feeling. I knew, me watching him when I first got into boxing, if he continued to do what he was doing, and I, you know, did what I thought I was going to do in the sport, that eventually we was going to have to lock horns. And it just so happened that it is. That's what it is, and I'm excited.
So you've always been your own nutritionist too. You know, I could have got some tips from you. You know, by the way, if you could have told me, that's something probably you can recommend to everybody after you've done boxing instead of the criminal justice thing. You know, being a nutritionist. But you know, you're always on weight. You're always on point. Chris, on the other hand, he's known to have some issues. If he comes 20 pounds over than what he weighs in at, I know that's a drastic jump, but are you guys prepared for that?
I'm prepared. I look at it both ways. If he's heavier, he's stronger. He might be a little slower, but whether he's in shape or not, he always applies pressure, and he always comes forward in the fights that, you know, we've studied. So if he's heavier, he probably punches harder. And if he's lighter, if he's in the 230s, 240s, then he might throw more punches, but he's probably not packing as much punch. So, you know, I'm not really worried about I expect the best Chris Arreola. He's coming on. I know when I came off my loss, all I could think about was not losing again. Doing whatever I got to do, you know, study the game plan, go out there and implement, because it was crucial not to lose a fight back-to-back. And I know that's what he's thinking. So I'm expecting the best Chris Arreola. And like I said, my win against Johnathon means absolutely nothing if I don't win this fight. So that's how I'm taking it.
Now, I know you did some work with Tony Thompson over the camp doing some sparring with some guys. What did you think of his performance, even though he didn't get the win on the outcome? What did you think? Do you see him coming back at the end of this year?
I hope so. You know, I actually didn't see. I saw his second fight against David Price. I didn't see his last fight.
Okay.
But you know, I was rooting for him, pulling for him, and I heard, you know, he lost the fight, but he represented well. And Tony, you know, he can fight. He's I believe, 41 right now, but he still can fight, and whatever he chooses to do, I support him.
Any other guys besides Tony that we probably need to know about? Any guys that you probably brought in over the weekend to help you get ready for Chris? Somebody that we might know of, some other names?
Big Danny Kelly, he fights out of Headbangers. You know, great. Me and him work a lot. Morales, I actually fought him twice. I had my draw with him, and I had, you know, and I avenged that draw, you know, against him. But he's teaching me a lot. He's very crafty, slick fighter. So, and he brings it, keeps me on my toes. So those are some of the fighters that we brought in. We also had what's my man name? Glendy Hernandez. He's an amateur that we had brought in. So I got some good work, man, and you know, we're gonna be ready to go.
What did each of those guys bring to the table? Bring something different. You know, everybody knows about the pressure Chris is going to bring, but did you bring in some southpaws? Some guys that have more body work, some guys that like to go to the head.
Well,
did everyone bring something different for you that you think helped you prepare for this fight?
I think, you know, we told him, and they worked on different things. You know, Tony's a great body puncher. He also, you know, at this stage in his career, he applies a lot lot of pressure, and he goes both ways. So he worked conventional and he worked southpaw with me, and he was heavy too. You know, Tony was 260, and I definitely, felt that weight in the ring. And, Danny Kelly, he just sharp, man, nice jab. He big, long arms, attack the body well. I don't got nothing but good things to say about him. And Morales, he just keeps me on my toes, man. He's a slick, crafty fighter. His record might not be indicative of that, but trust me, he definitely can fight.
So do you think the training in the past that you had, can you definitely notice a difference in the training that you have preparing for these kind of fights right here? And the sparring partners, everything that you're bringing into your training?
I wouldn't necessarily say that I always train hard. I'm always focused, and I don't underestimate my opponent. But the one thing that I've definitely noticed a difference in is if I'm putting together a game plan for Juan Marshall, and I'm sparring somebody, and they might be touching me up a little bit, and I say, okay, I'm just about to go ahead and dominate and fight you on the inside, even though I know I'm not fighting Juan Marshall on the inside. In sparring, I would just win the sparring match, but now I still stick to the game plan. Even if I'm supposed to be boxing you on the outside, and it might be good sparring, instead of me saying I'm going inside and destroy you, I still box on the outside. So sticking to the game plan. Yeah.
So you become more disciplined, basically.
More disciplined, yeah. That's the big change that I know.
Getting back to the some of the comments that Chris made, over this past week, is there a history there, or is he just talking out of left field, trying to hype it up? I mean, do you guys know each other?
I don't know at all. I've never spoken. But I mean, the bottom line is, I think it's envy, And I'll be the first to tell you, my starting boxing, I don't know. I didn't realize how special it was to get signed so early and shoot up the ranks so high, and people, I guess they're just mad at that. You know what I mean? Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. You know what I mean? But me, I'm not one to talk trash. I don't talk trash. I just do work. So they see me climbing the ladder and saw me on HBO and on Showtime, and so the tendency of people that they just hate.
Growing up on TV.
That's just what it is. I said nothing to him, but like I said, it's all good. He's gonna have to back it up on the 7th. I'll be ready.
I got one question, but how do you feel to get to this point now? I see you around the DC tour with the Mayweather and stuff. People notice you, and you see all these people here come out to your meet to work out. Like, how does it really feel to be at this point? Has it really sunk in?
It feels good. It feels good, but honestly, man, to me, I really haven't achieved anything in boxing. And a lot of people, you might hear me say that, and you be like, wow, why do you say that? I envision myself, whenever I set my mind to doing something, I envision greatness. I envision me being on top and, financial security and for my family, and, I'm not there yet, so I have a long way to go. But it does feel good.
In terms of, you talk about his experience, what do you think we have to advantage coming into this fight? The speed, the footwork,
everything except for experience. I mean, and when I say experience, it's the quality of opposition that he's fought. That's all. Yeah, that's the strength of schedule. That's all. I mean, he hit hard, I hit hard. They talking about his power. Okay, I got power too. It's gonna be a great fight.